Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean, a little show about big things. I hope you guys are having a great day today and great morning. It is Friday, March 6th. Hopefully, you guys are ready for a great little week. You guys are going out and enjoying getting out and buy local and shop local and just getting out of the house. Even though the weather's a little shitty today, we got good up on Monday and Tuesday, so it's going to be pretty nice. Ocean Pit, little show about big things. Again, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call at 847-769 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, the men and women in the military, and our veterans who fought for our country. And mostly, thank you all for you wonderful people that are watching the show today. And like I said, thank God it's Friday. And about we're going to have a normal show until about 12:30, right after ARC Ace Hardware Weather. We're bringing on the guest, and I did promise you guys Orange. We're not going to give you his name, but like I said, with the history of being an ex-military, ex-CIA, and his father was a high-ranking general, give us some actual information and maybe some answers to what we actually see what's going on with this crazy world as it is. So it's important. So either this show is going to be one of the most watched or one of the most, or the least watched. It all depends what you're having. But it's Ocean's Pit. It's showtime. Let's go to work, baby. Here. Thank God it's free. Thank you, Richie and the boys from Seventh Heaven. Guys, how you guys doing? And don't mind the pounding in the back. We're still working on our kitchen, so that's going to be hearing back there. If you can hear it on the screen. As you can see, half the screen is blocked off because we're just not going to let us know of his identity, just to protect him, because there's a lot of whack jobs out in this world. So anyway, so before we get into all the nitty gritty about business, talk about business, as they say, practice, no business with our good friends where Ace is the place. Buy a local. That's right, folks. And they got a lot of great deals today for the month of March. So we're excited. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Let's see now, exclusively at all the JRC Ace Hardware locations, all our heart clothes are 30% off. That's including gloves, socks, and hats. You can't beat that. This deal is from March 1st to March 31st. So plenty of time to get out there. JRC Ace Hardware stores, Norridge, Evergreen Park, Warrenville, Mesa, Arizona, Fox River Grove, Richmond, Illinois, and coming in October of 2026, this year, of course, and beautiful Elmwood Park. So a lot of great deals. Here's what we got. Scott's 4-step annual program for your lawn, $4.99 for a 5,000 square foot bags, a saving of $25, or $229.99 for a 15,000 square foot bag. That's a savings of $60, man. You can't beat that. Get that lawn stuff going for yourself. Ego lawnmowers, save up to $150 with Ego battery-powered lawnmowers and other outdoor-powered equipment. You'll never have to deal with gas or engine tune-ups again. Plus, free assembly and delivery on lawnmowers. See ads for details. Just more great sales that Ace Hardware has, folks. And don't forget to tell them I want to grill my Ace off. That's right. Grill my Ace off with our good friends from Ace Hardware. Get that grill because summer is right around the corner, baby. That's right. So that's what you want to tell them. Grill your Ace off. All right. So as things are moving a little slow today, folks. folks. So I sorry about that, and that's because they're bad here. But it's getting a little better. All right, so thank you guys for watching today. I want to start off by thanking everyone who showed up last night to Zaza's Barrington. We are there the first Thursday of every month, I think over 10 years. Filippo and the crew and Massimo, they have a job over there, folks. So thank you all for coming out last night. Professor Daryl Armenstadt, thank you so much. But I need to thank all you wonderful again, man, because Mikey again and Connie and Mary and Ross, God bless you. Cousin Tommy, Buddy, again. The party just doesn't stop with my buddy. Absolutely. And, of course, our good friends from JRC Ace Hardware. We're talking about Jackie and Kathy and their mom, of course, which they came. So it was very nice to see them yesterday. And all our friends that showed up at Zaza's. Tonight we're going to keep the party going. We're going to be at the Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg. That's going to be with Double T Tony Toto. That's at 8 o'clock hit. And tomorrow, we're making our debut at a new dinner for a while. It's my first time I'm going there. It's called Johnny Cash. Beautiful stage, great food. It's ambiance. It's going to be great. It's in Burridge, Illinois, and it will be Tony Ocean in the main event band, Tony Toto on drums, Jerry Jams, of course, Tino on piano, Danny Raimondi on saxophone, and the return of Lisa P. from Florida. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's this Saturday, 8 o'clock. I hope you guys all come out and enjoy us there in Burridge this Saturday night. Now, again, if you're just tuning in again for the first time, we just finished celebrating our 6th year anniversary here at Fur Ocean's Pit, and the party was at Village. And we're going to put a big thank you and everything on social media this week, and I forgot to do it. I've been so busy. But again, thank you to everybody who showed up for that live broadcast. If you look back on our pages. All right, so a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. Like I said, Mr. Orange will be coming. And people said, why Mr. Orange? Why Mr. Orange? Okay, if you guys remember Quentin Tarantino's great movie called Reservoir Dogs. And they were robbing a bank. And they all had dressed in black suits, in tie, white shirt, but they all had a different name. One was Mr. Blue, one was Mr. Orange, one was Mr. You know what I mean? And none of the guys knew exactly what their real names were. So I just picked Mr. Orange today. It's a good color. Sinatra's favorite color, by the way. His handkerchiefs were always orange. So there you go. That's why we're calling it Mr. Orange today. And you'll be coming on our mystery at about 12:30. Okay, in the meantime, let's get some information here, some stories and stuff. Now, if I'm correct, we have to go, don't forget, this Sunday, right? Do we change the clock ahead this Sunday? 1 hour? Daytime savings time? I think it's this Sunday, right? We have to change the clock. It's right around the corner, which is good. Let me see if we can see people watching today. Jill, how are you doing? Dino Manzella. Ricky, how are you doing? Kathy, great seeing you last night. Rick, great seeing you. Rebecca, Isabella. Oh, wow. It looks good, Rebecca. Oh, thank you. Just making sure I got everybody who want to say hello to everybody that's watching today. Okay. So make sure you turn your clocks back ahead on Sunday because it's that time. That means spring is getting closer, folks. Spring is getting closer. Let's see for WGN News for football, you guys. Congratulations to Jason Bennett. He's a Chicago native out of Homewood, Illinois. That's the south side of Chicago. He's going to be one of the play-by-play guys for NBC Sports on Sunday night. So a Chicago guy gets the job. Very, very cool. You got to like that. Also, sports, not too good info for you Atlanta Braves fans. Designated hitter Jackson Profo, if I'm pronouncing his name right. He's got 162 game suspension for testing positive. It's like, what is it with these guys with steroids? This is the second time he got caught. You know what? Forget suspending these guys. This is the second time he got caught. He ain't going to stop. You suspended him. But if he's got to get rid of him off the team. That's it. Ryan Lewis, how are you doing? Oh, I hope you guys are well today. Yeah, right. All this steroid stuff, it drives me nuts. It really does. Here's another thing that drives me nuts. Now, I don't know, when do you qualify? When do you qualify for GoFundMe page? That works. Joanne, how are you doing, Joanne Lulu? That made a GoFundMe page and probably didn't even really need it, just to make money. And people are so nice and generous when saws some help, and that's why we need. That's what we're here. That's what we're supposed to do. Either you have some health issues or you have money situations, but sometimes you wonder if the person really needs it or who the person is. I don't know if you ever wondered what's your thoughts every time you see a GoFundMe page. Marie Lewis, welcome to Ocean Spit. Francine, I hope you're doing well, my dear friend. Right now, there's just something came right off yesterday. I seen about the Corey Harrison. You remember the Harrison family? They had a big hit TV show called Pawn Stars, which I still watch the reruns all the time. The son Corey had a major motorcycle accident in Mexico. Now, I don't know how much money that show made at that particular time. I know they haven't made any. I don't think they made any new shows. I think they probably could be off the air too. Thomas, how you doing? Large Marge is looking for you. Thomas, will you tell Large Marge? Large Marge, we said hello. Yeah, we miss her. Anyway, so he's at a GoFundMe page trying to help for his medical bills. Now, I don't mind, guys, look, I've done it. I've started some GoFundMe pages for some of my friends. And when I know there's people in need and stuff like that. But sometimes makes you wonder, are they just doing it to get extra money, or is it doing it because they really don't have it? Double T, Tony Toto, I will see you tonight, my brother. So that's it. Corey Harrison, I don't know how much money the father made, how much they made on the reruns, how much they made on shows. I don't know. I can't even begin to think people make like on the reruns and how many times. But I do know like one show, like Friends, guys, and I know it was a much more popular show, but they make like $1 million a year, I think it is, from just the reruns. I think each one of them do. I think it's $1 million for the rerun. So and Pawn Stars looks like it's on 30 times a day on certain channels. So I don't know. Does he really need them? If he needs some money, okay, well then I can understand that. But even the picture you show of him asking for it, he's like he looks like it's a rap sheet picture. The guy looked like he was stoned half the time you watched the show anyway. That's just me. He's looking for 20 grand. Okay, 20 grand. Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for that. Yeah, I miss you guys too. I don't see you out that much, Ryan. I don't see you at Rosario's anymore. I don't see you, so I hope you're doing well, brother. Anyway, so I just don't know sometimes when you see those GoFundMe pages, and these are celebrities. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he went through some hard time. I think the father went through some hard time with some scandals and stuff like that. I didn't read all the info, but it just makes you wonder. Just got to be careful on some of those things, whenever you see those. But I can tell you something that's really good. Good afternoon. My grass is turning green from all the rain. There you go, Dennis, up in lovely Lake Geneva or in the Wisconsin area. We got another cruise coming up. We're talking about the Chicago Music Cruise. We're not just talking about any cruise, folks. We've already been on 3 cruises with Seventh Heaven. And they've been doing it for almost 20 years. They've been on 20 cruises themselves before these last 3. And we just got off the MSC World America, just went past January. And we're going to do it again. This one, we're going back to Royal Caribbean by popular demand. And it's going to be the Stars of the Sea. A ship, a big ship. I heard it's a great ship for Royal Caribbean. And we're going to take off on January 10th. 2027, I think, to January 17th, if I got that right. But it's going to be Orlando, Bahamas, Coco Key, St. Martin, and St. Thomas. Tony Ocean, the main event band, will be Tony Toto, Jerry Jams, and Daryl Armenstad, and yours truly. along with the boys from Seventh Heaven. So you can go to NTD Vacations. Go to Mary at NTD Vacations and get information. Or you can go to Chicago Music Cruise and put in Tony Ocean when they ask. Or better yet, pick up the phone and call Mary at 630-688-1725 and say, I want to go on the ocean with Ocean. Rebecca, give me 20 grand too. Absolutely. Jeff Hunt, my brother. How you doing, pal? Jeff, of course, with the band Seventh Heaven, who's been on a lot of cruises. I hope you guys can join us in January. You got a year away, so you can put in that money and enjoy. Still coming up at about 12:30, folks, Mr. Orange, the mystery guest, answering some of the crazy stuff that's going on in this crazy world. Amazing. I know, Tammy, it's so much fun, and I hope you guys can enjoy doing it. For all you Green Bay Packer fans, I don't know how many Packer fans. I like the Packers. So anyway, former President Bob Harlem has passed away at the age of 89 years old. There you go. Thank you, Craig. Each of the 6 cast members of Friends get $20 million. So for the reruns, $20 million they get. So, and that show was, I think, much more famous than Pawn Stars. But Pawn Stars been around a long time, and they're on TV all the time. So I wonder what they get, from reruns. And what did he do with all this money? Or is he just scamming people? Right, guys? Who wants to do that? Ryan, your birthday's the 23rd. Well, happy early birthday to you, brother. Happy early birthday to you. Today, it's March, so it's Women's History Month. So big shout out to all the women out there. Very, very cool. Let's see. And we just put out our press release. Rockford, actually, the Hard Rock Casino, put this press release out for the big show that got coming up at the Hard Rock Casino. Now, that's going to be April 1st, and it's going to actually April 1st, not years ago, not that long ago, but they made April 1st National Cheap Trick Day in Illinois. It's an actual real holiday type thing. And since Cheap Trick being from Rockford, and Rick Nielsen is one of the owners of the casino. So we're going to be there on April 1st. Reason why they picked us, I think, we're probably the oldest Cheap Trick tribute band. I think we started in 1988 when we first started with this original lineup, and then we had another lineup, and now this original lineup is back. We did add Nick Sahajas, the piano man, a few years back. So we're going to be a special tribute to Cheap Trick, and it's going to happen at 7 o'clock on April 1st, which is a Wednesday. Billy and the Vincent Saints, great band from Chicago, is going to be opening the show, and then we'll be doing the special, the great songs of Cheap Trick, and the B-sides and all the hits as well, too. So I'm going to say that. Whatever happened to Carrot Top? Rebecca, I opened for Carrot Top years ago. And I think he's still in Vegas. My buddy Carlo was just there, and he took a picture with him. You can't tell what he looks. I mean, he looks pretty fucked up, pardon the language. But he's still there. He's still there in Vegas, folks. March 14th, which is what, next Thursday, if I'm correct, or next Wednesday? No, whatever day it is. Next Saturday. Next Saturday. They're going to the Chicago River is going to be dyed green. And for St. Patrick's Day, for all our Irish friends. And I love it. All the Irish stuff that you guys do this St. Patrick's Day. The bars are all setting up for it. I got it. You got the big parade, blah, 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 blah. One thing I don't understand is why don't we have a St. Joseph's parade or St. Joseph's Day restaurants with the red and all this stuff? No, we don't have that. But we do for St. Patrick's Day. So power to our Irish friends. Salute. Ronnie B's in the house. James Hammer. We missed you last night, Hammer. Anyway, Chicago Prime tonight. Hope you guys can stop on by. So they're going to dye the river green on the 14th. That's next Saturday. Let's see what we got here. Speaking of Las Vegas, you're talking about Carrot Top. Dave Copperfield is calling it quits, or he's leaving the MGM Grand. He was there for 25 years, talking about one of the greatest magicians of our time, David Copperfield. closing his deal with the MGM Grand. I don't know what's going to happen from there. Maybe he's retiring. I don't know how old he is. Chris Minardi's in the house. How you doing? Another great entertainer, guitar player in Chicago. Ronnie B, what's shaking? Guys, don't forget, 12:30, right after the weather, Mr. Orange will be making an appearance here and answering some crazy questions. And I know a lot of people might have them. Questions, but I got some questions too I'm interested in. But you have the best float in the St. Joseph's Day Parade. No leprechauns can compete with that. Well, that's not saying that's Columbus Day float, Francine, not the St. Joseph's Day one. Well, we do have one that we're going to have again this year in October, again sponsored by our good friends from Ace Hardware. Yeah. Well, Dennis, I can't wait for the Cove either. That's right. Ocean's Rat Pack will be at the Cove Saturday, Ocean's Rat Pack doing a dinner show there. So we're excited to be back in Lake Geneva. We also got a date in April at the Getaway, a Thursday night at the Getaway in April. And we'll be giving out some more of those dates coming up as which will be interesting. I just read something on ABC News. Alert has been issued. Be some new dangerous daily drug coming to Chicago. It could be something that people are selling and people are could be very dangerous, what they're saying. Very deadly and very dangerous. What kind of means the same thing, technically. Well, you could be deadly without being whatever. But the screen just got dark. Anyway, we're having some issues with this weather. So hopefully the screen and everything is still alive. Anyway, so I don't know if you guys heard this, ABC, about some deadly drug coming to Chicago. So you guys, I don't know, just got to be careful out there, man. Right now, also it's coming to us. How about this? Chicago's first automated public restrooms. They'll be the very first self-cleaning bathrooms in Chicago. So they're like power battery energy is on. Power battery, huh? I don't know. I hope that's okay. Send that back. Anyway, self-cleaning toilets coming to Chicago, folks. So they're probably going to be these booths. From the pictures that I see, you should look it up. I guess you go in and whatever it does, but you go to the bathroom. I guess they clean themselves after a person does number one or number two, whatever the hell you're doing in the bathroom. Kind of interesting. Again, what's bad about that, folks, because it eliminates another job. Someone has to clean those toilets, right? Clean those bathrooms. So if they're self-cleaning, there goes another job lost, right? Frank is in the house. Hi, Mary Grievous. Hi, Mary. So just getting all this stuff here, making sure. Let's see. How about this? You know, we talk about big pharma all the time, right? The money they make in profits alone. I think last year the big pharma made $2 trillion in profits. $2 trillion T for tons. And they still have not taught the American people, the American way, how to live a healthier life. I mean, it's one of the biggest companies that just eat us alive. We all can bitch about one thing, and we can all agree on a lot of things. But we also have people that we disagree. But right, I got it. But one thing that we can all agree on is the pricing of pharmaceutical stuff, and it's just so pricey. So I don't know how some people can afford it, especially if you don't have insurance. But when you see that these birds in profit, $2 trillion in profit, really? And the average guy trying to just make it and help, get some medical stuff for his family and stuff like that. Even with the insurance you have, even if you got good insurance at work, which thank God we do, is turning 70. He's doing 15 shows a week, and his name is mentioned in the Epstein files. All right there, David. Well, there you go, maybe. So maybe it was sort of, Craig, maybe it was sort of a mutual, hey, why don't you just step down, because could be interesting. So thank you for that. I think Prickster was in the Epstein files. Maybe he'll step down too. I'm just saying. But I think I can understand how Vegas might have, said, "Hey, 7 years old, hang it up, it's done." You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things coming up. Like I said, very shortly, right after the weather. Mr. Orange will be joining us. What's we got coming up, folks? Next Thursday will be at the Shea Paul Hotel, the Shea Hotel, beautiful place in Arlington Heights, right on the rooftop. And we were there twice before already, and that's going to be this Thursday coming up on the 12th. On the 14th will be by Ron Onesti's Club Arcada Speakeasy with the main event band. It's going to be actually double Tony Toto, yours truly, and Bob Pucci on guitar. So that's going to be a lot of fun on the 14th. On the 19th will be at Chef Shangri-La in North Riverside. First time the restaurant's had a Thursday night. I think that's going to be really cool. On the 28th, we'll be at 21st of March. We'll be at a brand new venue called the 28 Mile Distillery in Highwood, Illinois. Looking very forward to that gig. It's going to be a lot of fun. And 28th of March, going back to one of my favorites, of course, Taverna on Division in Melrose Park. On the 11th of April, we'll be at Primo in Gurnee, Illinois. And on the 25th of April, we'll be going to Ducks in Wakanda. We have not been there in 20 years. A long time since Michael, the original owners, passed away. So it'll be very interesting. All right, guys, let's not forget our good friend Jack Vena Landscaping. They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring, fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They offer plant design service and installation. They've been sure for over 50 years. Call Cousin Ted 743-5266 and tell them Tony sent ya. And don't forget Danny Massey, baby. Armando Supermarkets, 25 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Not only prepared food, rotisserie chicken, and more stuff. Got to check it out. Armando Supermarkets in Elgin, Illinois. Buy local, shop local. Angelo Packy is in the house. And it's a Good Friday, folks. It's a Good Friday. Yeah, Good Friday. All right. Got like one or two more stories here. Let's see. Another plus for the villagers too. How about North? For you guys out there, and probably women too. There is Mary. Thank you. We mentioned the cruise already, but Mary's putting up the information for the cruise right there on the screen, folks. Like I said, January 10th to January 17th, 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise, just like we mentioned. So please check it out there and call Mary. Like I said in the beginning of the show, 630-688-1725. And say you want to go on the ocean with Ocean. Nordstrom Rack. If you go to Nordstrom's, of course, a lot of people like going to Nordstrom's Rack. You can still find a lot of the clothes because you go to Nordstrom's, still pretty expensive stuff. Good quality stuff. You get some good stuff when you go to Nordstrom's, whether a man or a woman. But the rack is cool. Nordstrom's Rack's got the stuff that they couldn't sell, or maybe the overstock and everything like that. And you can find stuff for discount prices. And they're opening, from this says here, let's see, has announced 9 new locations so far this year. So it will be cool to see where they come. And I got one by us anyway. It's close, but Piggly Wiggly is closer. That's a good place too. Carol Brandolino, happy Friday to you. Carol, you can see her on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And a new show that started on this format, folks. That's right. If you missed our 6-year anniversary bash, starting Wednesday on the 25th of March, it's called Ocean's Split. Not Ocean's Pit, Ocean's Split. Wednesday on the 25th of March, and then it'll happen other Wednesday on this format on the Ocean's Pit Show will be my lovely wife, Laura Ocean, and Carol Brandolino. And they'll be talking all about women's stuff. Yeah, health and relationships and all that stuff, anything about women. It's the show for you women, Women's Ocean Split, starting Wednesday, March 25th, right here on the Ocean's Pit Facebook page at 12 o'clock. Patrice, former Honey Bear in the house. Hello, Patrice. I hope you're doing well. One more story. The worst part of holding, this is great. Michael Sansone sent this in from Arizona. The worst part of holding the memories is not the pain, It's the loneliness of the memories, and it needs to be shared. Thank God we got memories, you know? Thank God we got like, pictures and stuff that we have, or we have a camera, whatever it is, or we like we were talking, I think during the week we were talking about the VHSs where you can still get those converted now into the DVDs, and you can watch old memories, old concerts, old birthday parties, old wedding, whatever, so we need to keep those memories alive, man. It's very, very important. It really is. All right, Aaron, one more thing here, folks. Let's get right to the weather, and then we're going to bring up our guests because we don't want to keep them waiting too long. And today's weather, the screen is a little flaky, so I'm just going to, let's see if we can make sure I get this here as we do the weather at this particular time, 12:30, is the weather for the JRC Ace Hardware, our good friends from JRC Ace Hardware. Before they were neighbors. That's right, folks. Our good friends from Ace. The weather Friday, March 6th. It's 57 degrees out there, 7% humidity, 8-mile-an-hour winds. It's got rain up until about 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's been raining all morning here and thundering. So it's a little cloudy out there. So be careful. Get an umbrella if you're going out. But then we can start having some warmer weather. Come on Monday or Tuesday. I think like late 60s in the 70s. And that's brought to you by JRC Ace Hardware Stores. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. All right, so let's see, make sure we get it. I'm going to you guys, and I think is my guest here. Can you say something?
I'm here.
Mr. Orange, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
You are there. First of all, I want to thank you all for thank you, sir, for being on the show, Mr. Orange, and thank you for coming on. Before you get what you want to say first, like I said, our guest, Mr. Orange, has former military. Former father was a high-ranking general in the Army. I'll throw out some questions, and he's going to help answer. Maybe he can help us with some answers out there, what's going on in this world. And Mr. Orange, anything you want to start off with?
Well, maybe address the bombing campaign. Maybe address the bombing campaigns that are happening.
Well, yeah, everybody would love to find out about the bombing campaign. Let's the okay. Operation Epic Fury. Can you kind of help us with that? What's your?
Well, I think if people have a general understanding, they basically know what's happening in the news. But back in 2025, June, that's when the United States originally went in to do their controlled bombing strikes on the Iran missile sites. And that was just to damage the nuclear enrichment program that they had there. So they couldn't produce weapon grade uranium or anything that would be used in a bomb. And we were successful in that using the bunker busting bombs. So people say, well, if you were successful, why is he back there bombing again? And that is because this is a different mission. And I think that's where people are getting confused. This bombing mission is really focused on missile launchers, drone bases, the Iranian vessels that would be able to fire missiles, command centers, and military infrastructure. So you've got two different missions. One was just to stop the uranium from being processed into weapons grade. This is more focused on the aspect of things that could deliver nuclear weapons. So it's just a bombing campaign, and I don't know how much I could go into it because I don't feel comfortable with that. But you do need to know that during President Obama's term, he had dropped, the estimates are about 26,000 bombs in 2016, and that was across 7 countries. So he was averaging 72 bombs per day. And there was no outrage, no concern, no protest. Do you remember anything happening then? Everyone was fine with it.
No, you know what? And Mr. Orange, you're absolutely right. I think 241 in Libya, Pakistan, like you said, between yeah. So there is different Pakistans and different places that he did bomb, and nobody said anything. Now remember, this is not. He's not trying to start a war. President Trump is not trying to start a war. He's trying to stop it from happening. The problem, Mr. Orange, is what do you think is going to happen from here on? Now we know the big guy is gone. Of course, he's going to be, and a lot of the senior people out there are gone as well. Who wants to even step up and take this job? Are they going to change their? Is it going to change anything in the world? Make some peace out that way? Because I notice a lot of other countries are trying to come together on this. What do you think is going to happen out there?
Yeah, I think it's to the benefit of the surrounding countries if this regime was replaced and you take away the threat and you take away the atmosphere that you have in Iran. You know, the other factor in this, and I can talk about this because it's already been disclosed, but Steve Witkoff was part of the president's special envoy who went to meet with the Iranian negotiators. And in that first meeting, the Iranian negotiators said, with no shame, they just said right at the table that 460 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, that was enough to make 11 nuclear bombs. And the problem with that is, and people will say, well, Russia has nuclear bombs, China has nuclear bombs. That's correct. But when you're dealing with a radical regime like Iran, they have the ability to make 11 nuclear bombs. They can also choose to use those weapons themselves or give them to Hamas, or bigger picture here, what we know, which I don't feel comfortable going into detail, but they can bring these nuclear bombs in briefcases, right? Nuclear dirty bombs into America.
Correct.
And how would they do that? Through Biden's open border. So you don't want to have Iran with the capability of making nuclear bombs or giving that capability to others who would then bring it into America. So if you know that they have the capability for 11 bombs, the idea would be to surgically go right to Iran and stop it where it is. Why let it go to other countries or possibly come here? That is the whole focus of this campaign.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say, which is this: I think it would make a difference. And we look, you're cutting in and out here, so let's make you're still here, Mr. Orange. Are you still?
I'm still here. Yep, I'm still here.
Well, and I try to say this to some of the people here now. Okay, you're still here. Thank you. Do you believe the people would be having such a problem if it was another Republican president doing what's going on right now? Or is it just because they hate Donald Trump so much? And why do you think they hate President so much?
That goes back to the Cloward-Piven strategy, right? So that is a strategy that was created by socialists. And the socialists said, if we could, this was back in 1966, they said if we could create a strategy and use the media to deliver this brainwashing to the masses, we could control the masses. So when you go back to that strategy, that's what's been incorporated through Democrats, through the media that they control. And that's the way that they can brainwash an entire population to go against their own nation. And that's basically what they've done. And they've used that strategy to turn a large amount of people in America against their own president.
Yeah, and it's because he's not a political man; he's a businessman, and I think a lot of people, I think they started hating President Donald Trump because even before he became president, when he was on a TV show, on his own show, and the character that he is, and the way he speaks, and sometimes some of the stuff that he says that drives people a little crazy. But I think he's doing the right thing for me. I believe he's doing the right job, and I love what about this stuff. And I hope he can answer some questions. Carol asked if you can answer this. Can you talk about the sleeper cells? What is the sleeper?
Right. So when you have an open border, you don't have a vetting process where you're doing background checks on who's being allowed into your country. And the reason you want to do that is to see if they have any prior criminal history, if they're going to be a danger to the citizens in your nation, but also if they have any ties to terrorism. And because the borders were open, you had terrorist countries sending people to Mexico and then coming into America through Mexico without being vetted. So now inside the United States, we have terrorists that are sleeper cells that can be activated to walk into anywhere, airport, and set off a bomb. So sleeper cells are everywhere in the United States because of the open border policy.
Very dangerous it is. We're going to talk about something that's been talked about ever since President Trump became got in office. These tariffs that he's charging these countries, or what he's trying to do, and why are so many people upset with him?
Well, the tariff policy we have right now, I'm not really comfortable talking about all the aspects of it, but this is what I'll tell you is that it's all been thought out. It's all been put together by the economists at the White House who are around the president. So they know that countries right now were charging 10 to 30% on any goods that went from America to another country. So they were charging us 30% for us to sell our goods in their country, and we were charging 2%. So it wasn't a fair policy. When he went in to make it fair, all of a sudden America cares about tariffs. In reality, he's just leveling it and making it fair for everyone. So if you're going to charge us 10%, then we're going to charge you 10% if you want to sell your cars here in America. So it's really just leveling the playing field, making it fair for everyone, which no president has done before. So that's why it seems out of left field. And we've been taken advantage of. And that's put us into a trade deficit. By him going back to correct the tariffs, it's now balanced out that trade deficit. But more importantly, it's used as a way to bargain with other countries. And that's why we've brought in billions of dollars, brought down the trade deficit that we had almost by half. So that's really the focus of what those are all about.
That makes a lot of sense on there. Let's talk about real fast about the voter ID. Why are some Democrats so opposed of having voter ID? I mean, you need an ID for everything, just to buy medicine, the airplane, hotel. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me here in the United States that they're having such a problem with it. And why is that, in your opinion?
I think it's obvious that anyone who would be against a voter ID is involved in some kind of election tampering or election fraud, because no one has a problem. If you have to be on a social welfare program, they want you to have a driver's license. So I never understood the idea that you are not able to get an ID, because anyone who's going to go buy alcohol, cigarettes, they have to have an ID. So I don't understand the idea that people in America don't know how to get an ID, or they don't have an ID. How do they drive a car? How do they get their medication when they go for a prescription? You have to have an ID to function in the United States. So I don't understand, other than election fraud, why would it be a problem?
It makes consent that I don't get it. You're absolutely right, and I want to thank you for answering me this. This is interesting. This was said by Stephen A. Smith. Whether you like Stephen A. Smith or not, of course he's ESPN. Um, why was it okay when ICE was involved with Obama had ICE, President Obama had ICE, the organization, and now here with Trump, everybody's so hard on Trump with ICE the way he's handling it. Is there a difference? In your opinion, the way it went down?
No, I think the difference would be the way that the media portrays it. So if you remember during Obama, they had CBS News and CNN. They were going on ride-alongs with ICE and showing the great work ICE was doing to make America safe again. And now you see a complete flip of the way it's portrayed in the media now.
It makes sense too. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. We have Mr. Orange on, and he was kind enough to. He didn't have to do this. This gentleman, and he's just giving us facts, folks. And some people don't want to understand the facts; they don't want to agree with the facts. And I'm just trying to put some information out here. Here's a sore topic that's been tossed around for so many years, and we don't know the real answer. We probably never will. But this whole Epstein file. Mr. Orange, Obama knew about it. President Obama knew about it. President Biden knew about it. And it's coming out now. The files are all released. Why? Why is it taking so long from people outraged that this files have not been released? Why now? Why are they released now? And why weren't they released before? And why weren't they stopped, in your opinion?
Well, it's all timing. During certain periods, it was an ongoing investigation, so nothing could come out because you can't tamper with an ongoing investigation, so nothing could come out. Then you get to the point where you had judges blocking earlier this year, up until earlier this year, you had judges blocking the release. And when they went in to release the files, I don't know if you remember this, the judge criteria said, what is your criteria for releasing this? Because you're involving witnesses who spoke under anonymity, and now you're going to release the names to the public. And the judge blocked a lot of that from being released before. So it wasn't anything to do with this presidency or this attorney general. It was really the judges that had blocked a lot of it from being released. But you and I both know if there was anything in those files, right? They had the files all this time. They would have went through every aspect of that file to find anything they could about the president and use that to stop him from running or winning this election, which they couldn't find anything, everything they went through so far. And still to this day, they haven't found anything.
No, and it's fun because there are already two people from the UK have already been arrested or questioned. And here in the United States, only the person who owned the island and the person who worked for the island or his assistant. It's amazing that no one's going down. And I always thought, and I think maybe a lot of, and I can't speak for the majority of people, but I believe if they do bring down some high-ranking officer or celebrity or somebody, he will just open the can of worms. And I don't know, do we really want to know all the details? And you think just because one island is stopped or one guy supposedly dead, or if he isn't dead, who knows, is this stuff going to stop? It's been going on for years.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say, I can't be specific, but, you know, Epstein Island is another trigger that the media has pounced on and just drives into people's mind. But, you know, the government does know that this is part of a network. Epstein Island is not just one isolated place. There's other places where these elites go. And this is just one of the places that, you know, stick out on the radar. But I will say that, you know, people are hell bent on this idea that everyone's going to go to jail and but in America, you really have to prove your case, as we've seen with the OJ case. All the evidence in the world, and he walked free. So in this case, you would really have to prove that someone was at because guess what? A lot of people probably were invited to the island, went there with their family, went swimming, hung out, did everything, but never were involved in anything with children or any of the accusations that are out there. So you have a lot of people who just visited the island and that's all they ever did, or they flew on the plane. So what? You have to prove in a court of law behind the shadow of a doubt, right? That an actual crime was committed, and you have to have credible witnesses. You'd have to have some kind of proof, either video proof or photographs, anything to prove your case. And that's going to be hard to do. And even if that does take place, you're looking at cases that would take 5 to 10 years.
That makes complete sense. What is your outtake? What's your whole take on January 6th?
January 6th, if we go by the facts, we know now that there were 285 government agents that were implanted in January 6th, right? So we know that that happened. We also know that through our own intelligence that this was put together to stop President Trump from ever being a president again. That was the idea, to do the January 6th, to position it as an insurrection, and then position him as the person who triggered the insurrection against its own government, and therefore he could never run for president again. That was the idea. So it was all orchestrated.
And we're getting some. Thank you for a lot of stuff you're saying. We do appreciate now, whether people agree with it or not. And I understand what you're saying. One of the last questions here. To be president of the United States, you have to be a United States citizen. Now, whether Barack Obama was or not is one thing. That's a different topic. But how come people in Congress don't have to be United States citizens? Don't you think they should be?
I would hope, well, the Republicans right now, they control House and Senate. I would hope that they would be using this time to bring forward bills like you're talking about that would require everyone who serves in our government to be a natural born citizen.
Yeah, you would think that, just like anything else. That always seems like they're never taking care of our own, and it's just mind-boggling to me, the hate for this country. And Mr. Orange, let's just say Trump's term is up, he's out of office. Is the hate so is the hate going to be just as bad as it is now with the new president? If it's another Republican president, like maybe Rubio or Vance, or I don't know who it's going to be, but what I'm trying to say is, you think the world will still be the way it is, in your opinion?
Well, again, going back to the Democrat mindset, they're controlled by globalists. Globalists want Democrats in office because Democrats will do their bidding. A Republican is going to stand for the country and stand for people's rights, and they don't want that. So no matter who you put in that office, they're going to attack that person. When you put a Democrat in office, if you notice, like when Biden was there, the media has nothing negative to say. People have nothing negative to say. There's no constant 24/7 propaganda push against Biden, even though he's probably one of the worst presidents, or if not the worst, that we've ever had. There was no negativity surrounding him at all. So there's always going to be a positive spin when it's a Democrat in office because they're controlled by globalists, and a negative spin when you have a Republican in that office.
Well, makes a lot of sense. Now, former military man you were, and your father was a high-ranking general. If any younger, would you want younger kids to join the army, fight for our country the way it is right now? If you had to do it all over again?
Yeah. If they're fighting to keep America as the last place of freedom on earth, right? Where you have the freedoms to do whatever you want, the freedoms to start a business, to have a family, to buy a house. You have all the freedoms that even when people, that's why everyone's coming here from the countries they're in. They're all coming here to America. If you lose America, you've got nowhere left. This is it. This is the last place where we're able to have the freedoms that we have, the opportunities that we have, and the resources. Look at America. Every resource is here. We can survive on our own without any outside resources coming in. So, yeah, if you lose America, then you really lost your last hope. So, young people out there, if they have a calling to be in in the military, if they have a true patriot spirit, they want to serve their country, then yeah, I'm all for it.
It makes complete sense. And here's something that's mind-boggling to me. It's weird that President Trump has freed the most oppressed women on earth, and some Democrats are mad about it because the hate for this president. It's mind-boggling to me how we're so divided. You ever think we'll be in some sort of unity?
The only way you're going to find that unity is if you could get people to wake up and start using their critical thinking skills again and think to themselves. That's a point you just made. You know, if we're freeing women, if you're all about women's rights and protecting women's rights, and we go to another country and help those women to not be oppressed and live in a free society, you have to critically think, why would I be against that? Is it because I'm being programmed to be against it, or because I believe they shouldn't be free? So if people start to think critically again and not think with their emotions and not think based on the propaganda that they're being spoon fed every day, just think to yourself. Even in the tariff, like you had mentioned, if we're being unfairly treated as a country when it comes to tariffs, then what's the problem with us requiring more or raising our tariffs or tariffs on products coming in? Why would you be against that? If people that harm American citizens are coming over the border and we say we want to check everyone who's coming in here because we want our people to be safe, why would you be against that? Or if you have people here now that are known criminals, we have the criminal records on these people who have raped and killed and murdered and done all these things. And we say, don't worry, everyone. We're going to go find these people who snuck into America. We're going to arrest them and take them out of here so you're all safe. Why would you be against that?
It's a question we'll never know, and I never understood it myself. Mr. Orange, I want to thank you for your time. You didn't have to do this, and from all the response that we're getting, people that are watching the show, we just wanted to answers. If hopefully can answer some, and people are going to agree, some people are not going to agree, but I think this was very, very important to some of this stuff that needs to be said. And it's like the world turns. Remember the old soap opera? We never know what's going to happen. We're just hoping for prayers and peace and unity and our fallen heroes who fought for our country, the men and women out there that are still fighting. It just hope for better. And it's like someone posted this on social media. Is it all about democracy? I mean, 70% of according to if I'm pronouncing right, Matthew Gaetz, who was an American politician and a lawyer, people would strike Iran again. About 30% would not. So I don't know. Let's hope none of that stuff happen again. But we do appreciate and thank you all for your time, Mr. Orange. Thank you so much, and you have a great day, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some of the stuff. We'll talk more on Monday and more information. I hope you guys like the interview. I thought it went well. Also, some good news, I guess. Jasmine Crockett and Al Green lost their primaries. They will not be in Congress next year. That is huge for the American world. God. Wow. two nut jobs. Anyway, folks, and we'll talk more. If you have any other questions, you can text me or private message me, and we'll talk more coming on Monday. But I want to thank Mr. Orange for that, and thank you people for watching and being patient with some of these answers. Anyway, folks, it is time for us to go. We have hit the hour, and before that, it is Friday. Birthdays for Friday, March 6th. My Chicagoland drummer out there, Gary Witz, if you're listening, happy birthday, Gary. The great Rex Harrison, British actor, celebrating a birthday. Henry Travers, he was Clarence in A Wonderful Life, celebrating a birthday. Julia Bard was the sister of the late, great John Lennon. Tom Arnold, 6 years old. Dave Gilmour of Pink Floyd, 79 years old. The great painter Angelo is celebrating a birthday. D.L. Huntley, 62 years old. The late Rob Reiner would have been celebrating a birthday. And from the Ides of March, Larry Milas celebrating a birthday as well. Tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg. Tomorrow, Johnny Cabs in Burr Ridge. That is an 8 o'clock hit. And thank you guys so much. Also, I'm excited about the Cheap Trick thing April 1st. Here's a great picture of me. The last time we played Rockford was a long time ago. Me and Rick Nielsen. And Rick actually came up on stage along with Bunny Carlos and played. So we're excited about the Dream Police going back to Rockford for Cheap Trick Day, April 1st. So really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun with one of our favorite rock and roll bands. All right, guys. And we need to thank our wonderful friends and our sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the great Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. And they got great deals going. What do they got going on? Bought some wild bird food. 2 bomb bags for $20 while supplies last. Mark Kensington Royal Paint. Give your house a fresh coat of paint during the spring cleaning. Save. Buy 1 gallon and get 1 at 50% off. You can't beat these 30% off all Carhartt clothes. I had to pronounce it again because that's that good of a deal. 30% off those clothes, man. Cool. Gloves, socks, hats. You gotta love them. And don't forget to tell them to grill your ace off. Grill your ace off. Get that grill ready for the summer because that's not going to be too far away. Anyway, guys, thank you to Mr. Orange for giving up your time, answering some questions. And I hope it was informative. I hope it answered some of your questions. Or this is a man who's been through, like I said, former military, former CIA, his father, high-ranking general in the Army. So he kind of knows his stuff. And, of course, we'll never know all the answers, but we're trying. We're just all trying to learn, We're just trying to learn. Guys, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment. Be kind to one another, folks. That's what's most in this world. And if you're offended on this show, just don't watch it. But just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. We want you all to have an incredible weekend. Enjoy, have some fun. And great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. We need it more ever. And respect your neighbor. Respect your neighbor. Be kind to one another. We always will. That's just part of life. Thank God we can. Thank God we can have our own opinions too. Thank God for that. In this great country of the United States of America. God bless you all. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And guys, Nick Sages, take us out, Piano Man. God bless everybody. Peace and love. And God bless America.
Time to go. It's the end of the show.
We gotta go.
See you later from Tony O.
Have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. Peace.